Good morning and welcome. It is Wednesday the 21st of December. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Right, coming up today, apart from the fact, I don't know about you, but my screen looks a bit blue. I don't know, it's the time of day, there's not enough daylight out there and the lights aren't great, but I think I'm fine. Just apparently sort of got a slight blue aura about me today, as far as I can see. So coming up today, I was hoping it was going to be a really good one, and it's not. It's just all right. So it's a standard steak day, which by recent weeks is actually above average. But yeah, so we haven't been doing as many £20 days, but that's what it is. £20 day, 3 bets. It's 3 lucky 15s. One in the afternoon, one at Dundalk. There's a Dundalk special. Prices are a bit lower just to manage your expectations, and there's a Wolverhampton bet. So I'm going to go through all those. Before I do that, I'm going to do the review of yesterday, and I'm also going to talk about price crashes, because there was a couple of comments about the Irish horses that I put up on yesterday's video, or last video, that were smashed in the morning from prices. And did I think there was anything going on with the market? Was I impacting the market by what I was doing on the channel? And I think the short answer is yes, but I'll explain why, because it's not something I think will happen every day. So I'll get onto that, and also just to kind of do a little trailer. So tonight is the last video before Christmas, so I'll be going through Thursday's selections. I've also done a bit of data mining around some of the big prices that I've been backing, and you might not think so, but I think the results are quite interesting in terms of some of the bigger prices in the last sort of period of time, and what the results are. So I'm going to go through that and explain that on tonight's video. But yeah, I thought I was looking for something and basically was positively surprised by what I found. So there you go. So there's a cryptic teaser for later. Yesterday, 15 on, 14.87 back. So about break even. It will depend if you put the bet on the night before and got the prices, which I think most did. You'd be all right. But in the morning, the prices were obliterated in Ireland, so it would have made a difference. So we had this bet here. So the 12.35 at Naas, the Eye of Tulla. That was well backed in the morning to 16 to 1, went back up to 20s, ran a great race and only got done by the favourite in a big field handicap. So, yeah, it was a brilliant start. Then 115 Ludlow, bought before lunch, really disappointing run. That ended up pulling up. Family Pot was backed into 6 to 1. And it was interesting. So it depends on where you put the bet on, as whether you had a rule 4. So Sky didn't put a rule 4 on that, but I backed that horse in other places and did get a rule 4. So Sky didn't have a rule 4, others did. And then the 306 Copy over Wolverhampton. Wow, I mean 80 to 1. It smashed into 14s in the morning, which I didn't expect it to. And then in terms of the race, it drifted right back up to like 33s, I think, before the off. And it started out all right, and then within a couple of furlongs, it was at the back, and then it was just tailing off halfway. So it didn't look like anything wrong with it, but it didn't look like it was tried. But yeah, I'm not saying it was a non-trier. I'm just saying there was something very amiss with it. So it wasn't even like it was a poor run. There was something not quite right. So ended up only being a place double, unfortunately, with a little extra bit on single on the Eye of Tulla. And then bet 2, we had a non-runner, that placed but only for Sky, and then those ones weren't so good. So it was a refund if you were non-Sky. If you were Sky, you got a little single back place on that one. So, yeah, 15 on, 14.87 back. So about 7 or 8 quid down with 2 days to go on this very short week. So today feels like the day, although Thursday it doesn't look too bad, and Southwell looks like it might have a few opportunities. So we'll see. Okay, so before I go to today's bets, in terms of those 2 Naas handicaps, I think there was a bit of a perfect storm, and I do think the channel impacted the market. Because I think it was too coincidental that the 2 horses that are backed, which were 50s and 80s, both crashed, and I mean crashed. It wasn't like they slowly went in the odds, particularly Copy over Ballroom. It was 80s, 33s, 14s. So those 2 horses were the rank outsiders in those races. So why do I think we probably did impact the market? Price is a big one. So if those were 2 3-1 favourites, I don't think we would have made any difference to the market. So price means that if there's a reasonable amount of money going on something at big price, it will increase the liability. The way I did the bets on those ones, it was in a lucky 15, they had singles, and importantly there was a double. A double on those two together, I think that would have increased the liability, but it would also increase the amount of bets in terms of frequency. Those two horses would have appeared together because they were in a lucky 15 and they were in a specific double. Irish racing is much more sensitive to money going on and price crashing, so that's why you'll find those of you who will know this, well, you won't know this, but you may or may not realise firsthand. If you think about if you've got a Sky Bet account that's restricted, and I know there's quite a few now. On those accounts, you're restricted a lot more on the Irish racing than you are on the UK racing. So Irish racing is a lot more prone to gamble, so bookmakers protect themselves. So if they do see movements in market in terms of money going on to certain combinations, they will move to protect themselves much quicker. I also think with those two horses, because I suggested Paddy Power, which I don't normally do, if you actually look at where the market moved to, Paddy Power were the shortest price. So it looked like Paddy Power were leading the market. They went first, and they laid off some of the liability around the market. So I think it was a Paddy Power lead. It was Irish racing. It was the fact that it was two horses together, both big prices, both in big handicaps, and to add to that, it was the night before early morning, so a lot less business gets done the night before early morning. So if there's a specific frequency of bets on certain horses at an unusual amount of time, which it would have been late at night or early in the morning, it would more likely to get noticed. And so I think all of those factors together put there. Do I think there's like you know, traders from all bookmakers watching the channel? I don't think so. I'd imagine if I was a trader, I would look around. If I was working in trading office, I'd be looking around on things like YouTube and keeping my eye out. I would do. Do I think I've got noticed and therefore everything I'm touching is going to get crashed? No, I don't think that. And there's not enough money on a regular race at a more reasonable price. I think it was all of those things together: price, time, where the races were, the fact it was the bookmaker, and the combinations of the bets. All of that together, I think, combined. And so, yeah, you do generally find there are more price crashes in Ireland than you do in the UK betting. So if I put out bets today, which I'm going to do, the Dundalk bets versus the Wolverhampton bets, you'll be able to get a lot more money on the Wolverhampton bets than you would on the Dundalk bets. So if you're kind of shopping around, most bookmakers would accept more money on the Wolverhampton races than they would on the Dundalks. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Right, what have we got? Today's bets. Let's spin through these. This is the afternoon bet. Yeah, I had a look through Lingfield, Hereford. I wasn't really feeling anything, and I've kind of come up with this. So 137 Fairyhouse is Navy Waves. That was a bit of a last minute one. I was struggling in that race, but that's the one I plumped for in the end. Then we've got the 153 Taunton after party. Annoyingly, and I wouldn't have time to sort of muck about and wait for it. Sometimes if I know the price is yo-yoing, I wait and level off both bets at the lower price. But it was 66 when I went to the bet, and then it changed when I did Lucky 15 to 50. So I took 50 for the Lucky 15. Then when I did the additional double, which I'll get to, it jumped back to 66s. So just to be clear, for the channel stats, it's 50 on the Lucky 15, but it's 66 on the double. Then 237 Fairyhouse Memory of Youth 16s, and the 515 Dundalk Son of Hypnos 28s. It's a 20p each way Lucky 15, and an additional double on After Party and Son of Hypnos, the two bigger prices in that bet. Importantly to flag, there are 3 bookies better than Sky for this bet currently. 365 are winning out because they are paying... I'm going to get this wrong way around now. It's this 237 Fairyhouse. So Sky are only 4 there, where quite a few of the other bookies have gone 5. So 365 are best for this bet, then Paddy, and then Hills. And it's in that order because the place terms are the same, but the bog level in terms of how many races you'll get best price guaranteed on with those bookmakers goes in that order, because Paddy won't do bog at Fairyhouse, but they will at Taunton and Dundalk. Hills won't do bog on any of those in a combination bet. Sky would be the same, but you'll only get one less place there. So I'm not saying Sky is bad. I'm saying on this bet there are 3 bookies better than Sky for it. So that's bet 1. Then bet 2, nice and straightforward Dundalk special today. Not big prices, but that's where I've plumped for. So Dundalk, 4.15 Silver Nemo, 5.15 First Man, 7.15 Exquisite Acclaim 14s, 7.45 Macliff 9s, straightforward 20p each way, lucky 15. Sky are best only on the basis of the first leg. I think it's 5 places. Everybody else is then the same place term, so you get a marginal benefit from Sky there, but you would get bog elsewhere. So 365 Paddy, Coral are all next best, and that's £6 bet 2. And then finishing off, we've got a Wolverhampton bet, a lucky 15 with a split leg. So all at Wolverhampton, last 4 races of the night. 7 o'clock, Dodgy Bob, we're having a little go there, 50 to 1. And also in the same race, View from the Stars, 12 to 1. Then we've got 7.30 Amber Dew at 16s, 8 o'clock But You Said 16s, 8.30 Athmad 20s. It's 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15. Sorry, a little squiggle on that one. So Dodgy Bob going on to the next 3 and View from the Stars on the next 3. So 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15s. And then it's a 50p each way additional single on Dodgy Bob, which is the joint technically biggest price horse of the day in terms of lucky 15. So that is that bet. £7 Sky best, and then either 365 or Coral. You are getting a couple of extra places on this one with Sky, so definitely this one's a stronger one that's better with Sky. That is bet 3. All right, that is me. We haven't had any update on the darts because none of our players have been playing, so we can skip through that. So then I'll be back tonight, last video before Christmas, where I'll be having tips and selections for Thursday, and then there is a video 3-day racing break and 4-day video break, and I'll be back then Boxing Day. A Boxing Day will be double video because there'll be normal regular video, and I'll also be doing a Boxing Day special on freebets.com. So that will probably be the first one out, I should imagine, which will focus mainly on the television races for freebets.com, and then I'll be on to the regular channel as well on Boxing Day. There's a lot going on Boxing Day, so I'm not sure quite yet what time I'm going to get the video up, because some people enjoy Christmas Day. Christmas Day evening, I will be researching all evening. Don't worry, I won't be neglecting. This is, little people are in bed and all that jazz. But my Christmas Day evening, I will not be having a few beers. Well, I might have like a glass of wine with my dinner on Christmas Day. But apart from that, the evening will be spent researching because it's a big day on Boxing Day. So that's Boxing Day. So we're back tonight, last selections before Christmas, and I'll go through the big prize data that I've been looking at, because I just think it's really interesting, that's that. All right, thank you very much. Enjoy your day. See you tonight. Thanks very much. Bye bye.